Hogwarts Legacy 2 is currently one of the most anticipated projects in the gaming world, but recent reports suggest this magical sequel might be heading toward an unexpected shift. The first game received huge praise for its single-player open-world design and its faithful recreation of the wizarding world. But now, moves being made by the studio and publisher seem drastic enough to transform the core DNA of the series completely. Before we get into the details, if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Alright, let's dive in. One of the biggest outside factors affecting Hogwarts Legacy 2's future is the possibility that Warner Bros. Discovery might be sold. Rumor has it Netflix, Paramount, and even Disney are interested. A potential Netflix acquisition, in particular, could bring major changes to the series. Netflix has never really been big on physical releases, which means Hogwarts Legacy 2 could end up being digital only. For collectors, that's definitely not great news. Another angle is that Netflix may only buy certain portions of Warner Bros. If Netflix were to purchase only specific divisions or rights, it could seriously affect the ambitious HBO-connected plans for the franchise. Earlier reports suggested that Hogwarts Legacy 2's story would be closely tied to HBO's upcoming Harry Potter series set to release in 2027, but if Warner Bros. Splits up and sells pieces separately, that entire plan could fall apart. On top of all that, Avalanche Software's new job listings are what really have the fan base nervous. The studio is now hiring people to work on an online multiplayer RPG. These listings mention not just multiplayer knowledge, but experience with live service systems, open-world progression, and reward structures. This makes the possibility of Hogwarts Legacy turning into an MMORPG feel a lot more real. What made the first game so successful was its single-player experience. It made you feel like a lone wizard living at Hogwarts. Going to classes, discovering hidden places, sneaking around the castle at night, that sense of personal adventure was what made Hogwarts Legacy magical. But now, things are pointing toward a complete shift. A multiplayer-focused, constantly updated online world, and that has fans seriously worried. This has created a major split in the community. Some players think exploring the wizarding world with friends could be fun, but most people fear it would destroy what makes the series special. Hogwarts Legacy worked because you felt like the center of your own story, calmly studying magic and uncovering mysteries at your own pace. If the halls are crowded with other players sprinting around and spamming spells everywhere, that magic could disappear completely. The concern doesn't stop at atmosphere. The possibility of a live service system brings to mind cosmetics, battle passes, weekly challenges, and loads of microtransactions, and many fans feel that doesn't belong in the wizarding world. The Harry Potter universe should offer a relaxed, story-driven experience where you form emotional connections, not a compulsive grind built to force players to log in every day. Warner Bros.' recent history with live service games also raises red flags. Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League was heavily criticized for its microtransactions and service-heavy design. Multiverses had an explosive start but fell off hard due to unstable content support. With those recent failures, many fear Hogwarts Legacy 2 could suffer a similar fate. For single-player fans, the idea of moving toward an MMO structure feels like an identity crisis. Plenty of people agree that a Harry Potter MMO could be cool, but they insist that it should be a separate title, not Hogwarts Legacy 2. If they want a fully online experience, fine, just don't slap the Hogwarts Legacy name on it. Still, there are a few hopeful signs. Reports say the live service push within WB might be losing support internally. After Suicide Squad flopped, Executive David Haddad, one of the biggest champions of live service strategy, stepped down. Because of this, fans think there's still hope that Hogwarts Legacy 2 might remain single-player. The community also continues to emphasize how good the first game felt even as a standalone adventure. Sneaking around the hallways, wandering the Forbidden Forest, attending classes, progressing at your own pace. These were the biggest reasons the game became such a hit. Turning that experience into an online world feels like an emotional step backward. That quiet, magical sense of solitude is something fans really don't want to lose. At the same time, the first game is still full of secrets. One new discovery recently emerged involving a hidden Deathly Hallows reference found etched into a Hogwarts wall. Little details like this remind players just how much there is to find and why they fell in love with the single-player format in the first place. Some players have pointed out that the first game already had MMO-like elements, different regions with level-based enemies, constantly respawning crafting materials, repetitive quest templates, and item rarity systems. This revived speculation that Avalanche may have been experimenting with MMO concepts from the start. Others disagree, saying these elements are common in many modern single-player titles and don't automatically point to an MMO direction. Meanwhile, the modding community makes it pretty clear what players want. The Hogwarts multiplayer mod, which lets players cast spells together in sync, exploded in popularity. It proved there's definite interest in co-op. But ironically, its existence also fueled debate. Since the mod already provides a simple social option, is a full multiplayer overhaul even necessary? Many feel an unofficial co-op mod is more than enough. Even if Avalanche is watching the mod scene closely, major decisions are still tied to what WB leadership wants. The company seems to be leaning hard into big shared revenue models, and the rumored HBO integration fits that mindset. If WB wants Harry Potter content to be tightly connected across TV, games, and other media, Hogwarts Legacy 2 might be forced to follow a larger multimedia plan. WB reportedly wanted Hogwarts Legacy 2 to link narratively with the upcoming Harry Potter series. That sounds cool in theory, but it could also limit the game's creative freedom. If the story has to fit the show's canon, the game might lose the independence that made the first title so compelling. Netflix's involvement only adds more uncertainty. If Netflix ends up controlling HBO content or related rights, the narrative connection between the show and the game might fall apart, meaning Hogwarts Legacy 2 could become much more standalone. In that case, WB's original multimedia plan would collapse. Despite all this chaos, fans know exactly what they want: a bigger open world, more on-campus activities, richer student life, more detailed classes, clubs, and everyday school experiences. Many players criticized how the first game pulled them away from Hogwarts too often. They want the castle to remain the central focus of the story. However, WB and Avalanche shifting priorities may not align with those hopes. If the main goal becomes long-term monetization through live service systems, the emotional core of the game could be lost. Battle passes, cosmetic shops, and daily grinds could suffocate what makes Hogwarts special: the freedom to explore at your own pace. Still, there's a hopeful theory. Avalanche's multiplayer hiring may be for a totally separate project. They might be developing Hogwarts Legacy 2 as single player while also secretly working on a standalone Harry Potter MMO. That would allow both sides of the fan base to be satisfied. But for now, that's just speculation. The job listings also mention branching narrative systems, suggesting the new game might offer deeper role-playing with choices that meaningfully affect the story. That's great news for single-player fans, but if these systems have to coexist with multiplayer, live service elements, things could get complicated fast. There's also huge story potential in the wizarding world: old wizards, ancient magic, dark secrets, and family bloodlines that go back centuries. But in order to take advantage of that potential, Avalanche needs to stay focused. If the game tries to satisfy MMO design requirements, that emotional depth might suffer. On the other hand, multiplayer could be great if handled carefully. Exploring Hogwarts with friends, taking classes together, fighting magical beasts, that sounds fun. But multiplayer should be optional, not the core. That's the only fair balance. Ultimately, Hogwarts Legacy's future depends on how WB wants to move forward. Whether the company is sold, split, or reorganized will have a huge impact. If executives prioritize profits over experience, Hogwarts Legacy 2 could end up trapped in the live service machine. But fan pushback combined with the first game's success as a single-player title might convince them to stay true to the spirit of the franchise. In the end, Hogwarts Legacy 2 is both a huge opportunity and a huge risk. A richer story, deeper school life, and stronger personal growth could make it legendary. But anything that pushes the game toward MMO, live service territory risks stripping away the magic. What makes Hogwarts special isn't just the size of the world, it's the feeling that you're living your own story at the center of it. If the sequel turns into a crowded, commercialized playground, that magic could fade fast. So what do you think? Should Hogwarts Legacy 2 stay single player, or would you rather team up with friends to explore the wizarding world? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates. See you in the next one.